I don't really need to talk. I just do what I do. I'm not a talker like that. I'm not a talker. I handle my business. That's what I need to know.
Know my boundaries. I want to fight Anthony Joshua. Exclusive.
When they drew, he would have fought Jake Paul. It was lined up basically. A lot of people get mad when people say he's the face of boxing. These highly rated boxers want to fight.
In a live interview, Anthony Joshua responded to Jake Paul's call-out without holding back. He adamantly said that he is career-focused, dislikes trash talk, and added, "I don't think mental games can win a fight." Joshua made it plain that boxing is more than just rhetoric. It's about technique, discipline, and experience. His confident reaction demonstrated that Jake Paul's audacious challenges won't faze him.
Good luck to him, man. Do your thing. I'm gonna do mine. He's gonna do his. What more can I say? I don't really need to talk. I just do what I do. I'm not a talker like that. I'm not a talker. I handle my business. That's what I need to know. You tell me in America what type of vim do I need to bring? I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do this and that and that and this. Trust me, I'm from the UK. We stand on our business. I'm standing on my business. I'm gonna handle mine. I've never seen someone win a fight via mental games. Like, the way you win a fight is by punching someone more times or punching someone harder than the other person. So it's here nor there.
Being aware of his own limitations, Jake Paul has openly criticized Anthony Joshua, stating that he wants to fight him and would defeat him. Paul is still sure he can defeat Joshua. Fans and experts have taken notice of his call-out, with many wondering if he really understands the difficulty he's requesting.
Know my boundaries. I want to fight Anthony Joshua. Exclusive. Because I know that I will beat Anthony Joshua's ass. I know
he just got knocked out, right?
Yeah, he doesn't have a chin, and he has no skill, and he's stiff. And I love you, Anthony. We're friends, all this shit, but I want to fight you.
In addition to giving numerous boxers their largest paychecks, Paul has treated Anthony Joshua disrespectfully. Many believe that Paul is trying to get under Joshua's skin and hype the fight by saying that Joshua lacks abilities and has no chin, even though Joshua is a former heavyweight champion who has faced some of the top names in boxing.
I want to fight Anthony Joshua. Exclusive. Because I know that I will.
I'm so sorry for my English, but I have to. See, Jake Paul does lots of good things. He has a camp for kids where he, I guess, gives training and coaching and gloves and environment for kids in Puerto Rico. He helped lots of boxers to get the bigger purse than they deserve. He has done some good things. And you are kind of trying to be on his side, but then he says something like that. Like, you almost are on his side, and then he says, I want to fight Anthony Joshua and Canelo at the same night or whatever. Jake, fighting Anthony Joshua and Canelo is not fighting Tyron Woodley or 60 years old Mike Tyson with Alzheimer's. Anthony Joshua is able to literally kill you. No doubt. If his mission is to kill you on the ring, he will kill you. You lost against Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury won against you. What Anthony Joshua? What Canelo, my friend? Canelo, you would need the liver replacement after Canelo fight. I promise you. I don't know. So stop doing that shit. Do the good things you are doing, and we will be on your side. Just stop saying crazy shit like this.
Main objection to Jake Paul calling out Anthony Joshua is that Paul has previously lost to Tommy Fury. How can he expect to defeat a world-class fighter like Joshua if he can't defeat a relatively inexperienced boxer like Fury? Much debate has resulted from this, with many boxing fans wondering if Paul is sincere or only seeking publicity.
You have got to be taking the mick. Jake Paul has called out Anthony Joshua and claims, I will fucking beat Anthony Joshua's ass. You know what? I want this to happen just so Anthony Joshua could just absolutely decimate this man right here. So first he fights Tommy Fury, a legitimate professional boxer, and he loses. Then he fights an OAP in Mike Tyson and beats him. Obviously, he's nearly 60 years old. Then he goes to try and fight Canelo, which fell through, thankfully. Then he tried to fight Tank Davis, which again fell through. And now he wants to fight Anthony Joshua, a legit world-level heavyweight boxer. Anthony Joshua is someone that I've always looked up to and probably one of my favourite boxers to this day and age. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind Jake Paul here and there, but there's just things he does in the sport that I don't agree with at all. And fighting Anthony Joshua, listen, I'm all here for it, just to see him get knocked clean out. The fact that he thinks he can compete with these high-level boxers, even though he lost to Tommy Fury, is just laughable. But how long does it take for Anthony Joshua to knock Jake Paul out? I'm saying
One of the top boxers has previously been defeated by Anthony Joshua. Alexander Usyk defeated Joshua twice and is considered one of the sport's most technically proficient competitors. Given Joshua's track record against such elite opponents, Jake Paul's lack of boxing expertise makes it unlikely that he will have a chance.
The belts were finally out of my possession, which I was expecting to win. It just kind of tore me apart, and that's raw emotion live on your screen. Obviously, looking back, could I have dealt with things better? Yeah, of course, but at the time that wasn't the priority. It was just outpour of emotion.
There are so many athletes we're seeing across gymnastics, cricket, rugby and football that have taken time out of their sport to deal with their mental health before coming back in. Did you at any point in that period think, I need to take an extended break away from boxing before coming back in?
It wasn't the fact I needed to take a break. You know what it was? I actually watched a lot of fighters, they've taken time out of the game for those reasons as well. And I think, okay, if they've done it, I should be doing it. But I got to look at myself as an individual. And what it is, I feel like if I take time out, I'm letting everyone catch up. And I want to be ahead of the game.
Joshua has adopted a more impartial stance, in contrast to certain conventional fighters who reject YouTube fighting. According to him, YouTube boxers have increased interest in the sport by attracting their supporters. Basis into boxing. It contributes to the growth of the sport. Joshua admits that boxing has been made more accessible to younger fans who may not have previously watched, thanks to competitors like Jake Paul.
Think of this trend at the moment of YouTubers entering the world of boxing, because Jake Paul's about to fight Mike Tyson, isn't he?
Yes.
What do you think about this trend?
I personally think it's really good. I think that the boxing hardcores, like the boxing fanatics, they don't like it because it's like, why are they disrespecting our sport? There's an Olympic system that you have to go through, and once you're qualified there, then you go through to the professional ranks. Whereas someone with a profile can just come out of nowhere and fight one of the best guys. Let's say we divided this crowd in half, and you've got half of the people that are hardcore boxing fans and half of the people that love a certain person that's into YouTube.
Like a YouTuber, yeah.
But that person brings all of these people into boxing, which benefits everyone else that's involved.
Because some of them
the
might stay not just for that match. They might get into the sport.
And it's a tough game, so everyone viewing helps. So I think it's really good for people that need some exposure.
What do you make of this YouTube for the boxing scene?
I'm telling you, it's good for boxing because I'm saying it's showing people you can fight someone that is well known, credible, can fight, marketable without a championship and have that same effect early on in your career, and you can still get all the rewards anyway. So I think that they're showing guys, oh, hang on a minute, there's so much potential in boxing regardless of championships. And I think it's good because now people start taking more risks early on. These guys coming into the game are changing the landscape for the better, showcasing that if you have a business mind on, marketable, creative, content driven, obviously talented, you can generate big business and do great things.
Response to Jake Paul's challenge. Anthony Joshua stated that he is prepared to fight anyone, at any moment. He instructed Eddie Hearn to communicate that he is not going to back down. This demonstrates Joshua's self-assurance and fighting spirit. Paul, it also silences any naysayers who could argue that Joshua is avoiding the battle if the chance presents itself.
I want want to ask you a question because the world of media went mental this morning. Anthony Joshua against Jake Paul. Please put this to bed or light the fire. What's going on?
I mean, this is the first time I've spoken about the fight. To be honest, like, I look at it and I think Jake Paul against Anthony Joshua. I mean, look, for me, we'd do it for the banter. Do you know what I mean? Like, AJ would fight Jake Paul. He'd fight anyone, to be honest with you. And if Jake Paul wants to step up and fight Anthony Joshua, he'll need the relevant insurance. But, you know, the only thing that was disappointing was he says 2026. I mean, that's like calling someone out. That's like me saying, you know, LA Olympics for the surfing 2028, I'll be there. Do you know what I mean? Do it in 2025 if you really want to do it. You're not going to get really much better at this stage, but I don't know, those two have spoken. I spoke to AJ this morning. He went, listen, of course I'd fight. I mean, you know, if the question was asked to Jai, would you fight Jake Paul? And there was,
I wouldn't fight him, I'd bash him.
but he might do it. He might just do it for, you know, just for doing it for the sake of it. But obviously we know. Listen, Jake creates massive events, right? You know that's going to create like unbelievable viewership, and no disrespect to Jake Paul, it's a straightforward night's work. But you know, I like this calling out of Canelo and all this. AJ it's another challenge up there. But you know, if they're game, why not?
What did he say, AJ, to you about it?
He said, why not? I said, what do you want me to say when I'm asked about it? And he said, tell everyone I'll fight anyone, anytime. It's not a problem for me.
Many in the boxing community are shocked by Jake Paul's decision to call out two-time unified heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua. Observers find it incredible that Paul, who has a reputation for taking on big names, would make such audacious claims about a fighter as accomplished as Joshua. This is possibly Paul's most ambitious call-out to date.
Jake Paul has just called Anthony Joshua out. Yes, Anthony Joshua, AJ, the two-time unified heavyweight champion of the world. This brother called this man out. Oh my God. Now, in a recent clip on Jake Paul's podcast, I think, he basically said that he will beat Anthony Joshua's ass and he has no skill, no chin, and he's too stiff for him. He also apologized to Anthony, saying, Anthony, I'm sorry, we're friends, but I know I can beat your ass. This guy is tapped in the head. Then again, he almost got a fight with Tank. If Tank beat Lamont Roach when they drew, he would have fought Jake Paul. It was lined up, basically. A lot of people get mad when people say he's the face of boxing. These highly rated boxers want to fight Jake Paul. So, I don't know what to say, honestly. But one thing for sure, AJ will never fight. AJ is too classy for that. Way too classy. He respects the sport of boxing too much to fight this guy. Absolute plonker. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. And make sure you follow for the most up-to-date and sharpest boxing news and content on
Paul has stated desire in competing against MMA sensation Conor McGregor, demonstrating his goals beyond Anthony Joshua. While implying that McGregor is deteriorating with age, Paul has asserted that his boxing abilities are becoming better. Here's another instance of Paul going after well-known figures to raise his profile in combat sports.
Done.
I think he has to come back and fight, but he needs to win.
Will he fight you?
I don't think he will. I think my skill level is outgrowing his in boxing, and I have the height advantage. He can't beat me, and I think he probably knows that. And time, he's only getting older, and I'm only getting better.
Additionally, Jake Paul has expressed interest in taking on Gervonta Davis. Although Davis Tank is free to take on new challenges after his latest fight with Lamont Roach, there is a noticeable weight difference. Paul is significantly larger than Davis, who is a lightweight. If Paul fights Davis this year, he will have to lose weight, which may make it more difficult for him to advance in weight class to face Joshua in 2026.
So Tank Davis versus Jake Paul exhibition match was going to take place after the Lamont Roach fight, until Tank drew with Roach, leading to a rematch. Now, I'm going to say the unpopular opinion here, but the size difference would have been way too much. I mean, even if Tank brought Jake down to 190 or 200 pounds, he would have still been way too big. I mean, no matter how good a lightweight is, they would have almost no chance against a cruiserweight or heavyweight ranked top 200 in his division. And I'm sure people are going to bring up Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul, but Logan is just not a good boxer relative to Jake. You know, Jake's been training for a couple years, he's had over 10 pro fights, and Mayweather was also junior middleweight in this fight, not at lightweight like Tank. But that being said, I'm glad Tank and Jake isn't happening. You know, it would have been a fun spectacle, but I'm not the biggest fan of the exhibition stuff. And instead now Tank and Roach will be rematching in June. You know, the first fight did a little over 260,000 pay-per-view buys, which isn't bad in this market. Roach absolutely deserves a second fight, so I do think the rematch will do far more numbers. And as for Jake, I want to see him fight big name boxers around his weight class. You know, the Tommy Fury rematch, for example. He's undefeated. The first fight did a little over 800,000 pay-per-view buys. He's around the same age range, so that's the fight I want to see, not the exhibitions. But let me know what you guys...
Paul has brazenly said that he is the only true boxer. While some boxing fans think that Paul has contributed to the sport's increased popularity, others view this as an inflated claim made by Paul to boost his own popularity. He asserts that he is the one who genuinely adds excitement and energy to the sport.
The realist in the game.
That's not glazing, bro. That's the problem is you're frail, bro. I told
Bro, but here's the thing.
I told Patrick Van yesterday, I am a fan of you. Nothing wrong with being a fan. I'm a fan of this.
It's okay to be a fan of people.
This is his favorite fighter. He said he'll whoop his ass. Yes, absolutely. He's a dog. You are a maggot, and you need to go.
I mean, this is I see, but you know what I will say is you said I'm what's wrong with the world because I was sitting here chirping a little bit.
No, because you just read comments and you make it your identity.
Hold on.
You read comments and you make it your identity.
And you don't even have your own opinion. I just got so far in your head with just a couple comments to the point where you got heated. You started all of a sudden you started like saying like I would never fight you. Like that was weird, bro. And it's because I got
that and he overheard it because I was.
I don't know.
Just giving him his flowers, bro. He's an awesome dude.
You're like the internet loser person that reads the. You probably think my fights are rigged. Do you think my fights are rigged like the rest of the world? Do you think I'm on steroids?
No, I'm not gonna say nothing. I don't think. Look, I never thought your fights were rigged. And I was at the Mike Tyson fight.
Yeah, see, you're.
I'm kidding. It wasn't rigged. I know it wasn't.
Has been Jake Paul's practice to criticize boxing greats, give them large sums of money, and then disparage them following their bouts. Paul's battle with Tommy Fury ended in his first professional defeat, but he still presents himself as the boxing world's top attraction. While some fans like his self-assurance, others think he's exaggerating.
He's the most power you've ever felt in a fight.
I would say Tommy Fury. It's the shots you don't see. So Tommy was a little tricky. Mike's punches I could see coming. He was strong, but he didn't land anything clean. So I honestly didn't feel Mike Tyson's full power, but that's good. I mean, you don't want to. So
I feel like he lost confidence second round. Like
yeah.
He stopped giving his all.
He just started surviving.
Jake Canelo Alvarez was once called out for a fight by Paul, but it never materialized. Paul said that Turki Al-Shi, a powerful Saudi boxing promoter, was against him facing Canelo. Despite Paul's constant questions about why Canelo was avoiding the fight, Canelo ultimately agreed to Turki Key's offer rather than take on Jake.
Everything was ready to go, 1 yard line, signed LOI. Basically, Turki hates me, absolutely hates me. We heard through the back channels for multiple weeks because we've been negotiating since the Monday after the Tyson fight. So we were negotiating for 2 months straight.
That's a lot of time.
And the whole entire time, Turki was doing everything in his power to strip the fight, try to not make it happen, calling Canelo, calling Eddie Reynoso, basically saying, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? To the point where he had to threaten Canelo to pull his 3-fight deal. You're not fighting Crawford. I'm not paying you any of this money. And he's basically paying him over $100 million for this random fight in May. And Canelo at some point is like, okay.
Individuals question whether Anthony Joshua would experience the same outcome if a contract dispute or financial disagreement emerges. Given that Jake Paul's bout with Canelo was ultimately called off, owing to promotional problems. Although Paul is promoting a possible battle with Joshua, the match might never take place. Politics in boxing might be a significant barrier.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Canelo Alvarez and Jake Paul is officially off. Here, I'll get out of the way so you can see the off. But this actually makes sense to me because the owner of Ring Magazine, Turki Al-Sheikh, he posted a very cryptic photo on Instagram about an hour ago, and the caption reads, "Don't mess with the lion. 4 fights for Canelo with Riyadh season, the deal is done. A lion doesn't lose sleep over the opinion of a sheep. Fear the lion, not the jungle. And look who the first comment is. Canelo, let's go, brother. This is one of the few times Canelo has publicly been on good terms with Turki Al-Sheikh. But boy, from the Terrence fight being off to now the Jake Paul fight being off, this has been a wild couple of last few days for the face of boxing. Wait, which one of these two is the face of boxing? I'm just kidding, it's Jake Paul, obviously. Just kidding, it's Canelo! But since it looks like Canelo is now under contract with Turki Al-Sheikh, the chances of Canelo ever fighting Jake Paul have lowered significantly. Because no offense to Jake Paul, from what I've heard, Turki Al-Sheikh doesn't want to associate himself with the kind of boxing that Jake Paul does. Any more updates that happen with this, I'll be sure to do my best to fill you in. As always, thanks for watching.